Whenever I try to close my eyes and just visualize Shiva, I feel a sense of calm inside me. So I was wondering, who is Shiva? Is it a person who walked on this planet or is somewhere up in the sky? So I looked up at the literal meaning of it. Shiva made out of two roots, Shi and Va. So in Sanskrit, Shi means calm or peace and Va means air or space. So the literal meaning would be that silent space that is there in the entire universe. If I say that Shiva is consciousness, it is divinity, it is divine, it is very difficult to conceptualize it. The whole concept of divinity is so abstract that it cannot be picturized easily. And this has been the realization of our ancient seers from various civilizations. So, to make divinity comprehensible, they categorized its essence, its tattva, into let us say three forms or three types. The first is no form at all, right? The second would be from the formless to form. And the third would be one with a full form. In its formless state, Shiva is the experience of silence and dignity. For example, when in lap of nature, surrounded by hills or by the ocean, in front of an ancient monument or at a place of worship, or just looking into the eyes of a newborn baby. It is a sense of awe and respect for creation and beauty. As a silent quality, Shiva is ever present and expresses in creation as the spaces throughout, the space between planets, between the sun and planets, the satellites, between all matter that pervades space. Even inside the human body, there is space between organs, there is space between cells, the red blood cells flowing in the blood vessels. There is space within the components of a single cell too. Everything is made up of molecules, made out of atoms, and there is space between the particles of an atom, between the nucleus and the particles like electrons, protons, and neutrons. There is space. This means that ultimately everything we touch and see is made of silent, empty space, empty yet conscious. In the Rupa Arupa state, it is the formless manifesting into form. So it's a transitional state from subtle to gross and is represented with the Shivalinga, a symbolic representation of the cosmos and the creation. Within the oneness expressed by the Shivalinga, two principles of creation, Purusha and Prakriti, depict this organizing power of nature. Purusha is the silent consciousness or Shiva, and Prakriti is the dynamic energy or the Shakti needed for creation. Purusha is the unmanifested intelligence, while Prakriti is the organizing power which helps it happen. So, the pure intelligence within each grain of creation is the Purusha or the Father Divine, while Prakriti or the Mother Divine is the energy behind all manifestation. Prakriti transforms the potential energy of Purusha into the physical manifest structures and their functions. Shivlinga is the mark of this divine union behind all creation, from the formless to the form. Even though the concepts have been clearly brought forth by our ancients, it could be still beyond the understanding for many of us. With the aim of making it easier to relate, we have Shiva in a meditating human form called as Shankar. The realization of Shiva comes through meditation and subtle awareness, finally. but a blue body, a crescent moon, a snake around the neck, the third eye, river Ganga flowing from the hair. What is the symbolic expression of each? The crescent moon. Well, Shiva Tattva, in his sense, is a state of silence or no mind. To experience and comprehend this no mind state, one needs a little bit of the mind, which is depicted as the thin crescent moon on the head. The third eye, located between the eyebrows, is the eye of wisdom. As the other two eyes represent love and justice, wisdom is needed to balance them both. River Ganga. Well, Ganga means knowledge. Knowledge that purifies, is liberating, and brings freedom. Such knowledge is flowing out from the divinity or Shiva's head to reach out far and wide to purify and nourish. The serpent around the neck represents alertness. Well, in a state of meditation, alertness is needed to experience the consciousness. The Damru has a descendo crescendo look and symbolizes the universe, which is expanding, collapsing, and then again re expands, the process of creation. So we can see that Shiva represents a chain from subtle to gross to subtle. This Shiva Tattva is the beautiful truth behind creation. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. And realizing this truth leads to Anand or bliss. Sat, Chit, Ananda. So let's bring this in our awareness at the level of the intellect, feelings, understanding, and move from the form to the formless.